All right, the next special event is now available. Fearless, featuring McLAREN MP4 4, the legendary 80s F1 car. So we got the 5-day entry to initiate this event. So let's see, this gives you a time. Let's see, if you're starting like on the first day, like today, which is the 23rd of December. It's an 8-day event from what I understand. 8 stages. Let's see, so if you start today, you will the last stage will unlock on the 30th into 31st. Well, 30th, and then you'll have till 31st to finish it. So I guess if you have like some big the New Year's Eve event that you're planning on attending, or if you have New Year's Eve party or something special planned ahead, you might want to wait instead of jumping in right away, because the last stage or last couple of stages are always going to be pretty difficult, as we've noticed from last event as well for the Performante. So something to keep in mind. So if you, let's say, if you wait until after Christmas, let's say you start on the 26th, then the last stage will open on the January 2nd into 3rd. So something to keep in mind depending on how your holiday schedules line up. So for this account, for the sake of YouTube, I'm going to get started right away. But on my second account, or my other account, since they're both at this point not really priority one versus the other, they're both very active, I probably will wait till fairly later on till I get started on that other account, because I don't want to spend all my time playing a video game when over the holidays. Who wants to do that? Spend time with your family and loved ones. That's always more important, right? And this one pays out up to 100 gold, by the way. So for anyone who's not used to the mechanics of the F1 cars in the game, this might be a little bit of a rude awakening, because the use of downforce is always, it changes your driving mechanics quite a bit. Like, let's see, we have three notable cars that have a very different, like, F1 mechanics. Obviously, the two of them are Ferraris, 412 T2 and the F14T. Both of them, and they feature some insane grip number, like they're like in 3 something or something like that, 3 point something G, and that's based on the downforce. So when your car is going, let's say, slower, you don't have the downforce, which means you are going to skid all over the road, which is at least for me, that was a major adjustment that I had to make, because you cannot like carefully approach a corner and hopefully you try to go around the curves at a, like, what you might consider a reasonable speed. Well, with these F1 cars, you skid right out. You have to really charge full steam ahead. So we'll see how this one behaves. MP4 I'd expect something similar, because as I said, the F1 cars, they rely heavily on the downforce for grip. So the faster you go, the more grip you gain. And then, of course, there's the other McLAREN MP4X, which is a concept. And that one, I don't know if I would necessarily even put that in the same category, but because there's no other category to put it under, I would have to put it under F1. Because that car just drives like nothing else in the entire game. In fact, nothing else like in real life either. not even close, right? That car, as exciting and fun to race that car is, we also know it's terribly unrealistic amount of grip that car gets. But anyway, that's the concept car, and it is a video game, so we can live out a little bit of fantasy that way, right? So anyway, as I was saying, enough of me yapping, and also we have free customization going on this car featured in this series, so 6 days to get it. So yeah, plenty of time to jump into the event. Let's see, 5-day window. So how late can you wait till initiate this event? 23rd, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so I guess until next Wednesday. I don't know, depending on how this clock works. If it's 5 days, at the end of 5th day, it starts going into the 24-hour count, then it's technically 6 days, right? But on a safe side, if we go with the normal people counting, that means the last day to initiate this event would be 27th of December. So mark your calendar. Don't get too carried away with the holiday stuff and forget to enter. So after Christmas may not be a bad idea, something to consider. But if you like, I don't know, if you don't have much of a plan, or if you don't mind spending some time, I don't know how much time it's gonna be, whatever you consider to be reasonable amount of time is a forewarning. Last year was the Formula E, and what happened with that event? I actually did not finish the event on one of the accounts. As I told you before, I manage 2 accounts. One, I did manage to win the car, do all that, but this account, if you go back and look up my I don't know if I even uploaded the playthrough video for the Formula E one, but I just didn't have time. I spent time with my family, and I didn't get around to racing. So I had to lose out on that one. But then, you know what, a couple of months later, maybe more than couple, maybe 3 months later, Fire Monkeys actually ended up giving away those cars for free anyway. So even if you don't win a car through these special events, it's not that big of a deal. It's a game. If you can wait just a little bit, they will give you a good discount, or maybe they'll run it in. Maybe they will bring the flashback again. I'm sure next update they will bring the flashback events back. Because I cannot imagine why they wouldn't. At least, I don't know. But that's my guess. Is because I like to think, generally speaking, I think the community, it was a pretty positive thing to have the flashback events returned, right? I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks that was a actually really good idea for the Fire Monkeys to include as part of the game, right? Unlike, let's say, the Gauntlet, which I know are pretty divided in terms of opinion. I don't mind it, but I also know just as many people that absolutely hate the Gauntlet events. So I don't fault you for not liking that, because it can be somewhat nerve-wracking or just frustrating, possibly. But anyway, let's jump in. 8-day special event. So yes, start now. All right. Complete all goals to own the McLAREN MP4 and up to 100 gold. Once again, it will be 0 upgrade run. You know it. Alright, another episode. Push the limits, fear nothing. And while we're at it, don't spend anything either. At least that's my goal. Alright, stage 1, an opportunity. Way back in 2014, when you were still a fresh-faced racer. First taste of professional driving in the Scuderia Ferrari Championship. That's right, that's when they first introduced the F1 cars. And then, I guess, after that they did the Road to Le Mans, the 2014. Anyway, since then you've become a true racing legend. Ooh, not sure about that. In that spirit, I managed to scope out an amazing opportunity for you to race in the McLaren 1988 Reunion Tour, and you get to drive in none other than the MP4. Sweet. Alright, so the first stage, we got 3 goals to complete. The MP4 isn't just any car, and before we can even think of jumping into the Reunion Tour, need to get acquainted with it. That's a good idea. Practice laps. Alright, so been in the usual message. So, well, since they are offering free customization, let's get all of it right away. Right, so this is the official, the livery that comes with the number 12, and looks like we got another one, number 11. Normally it'll cost you 22 gold, so don't do that. And then we'll get the rest of it. Yes, I love McLaren cars that, or really actually any cars that allow you to customize. Silver, Arctic white, red. It's a good red. Red looks good on this car. Yellow, sunflower yellow, not just any yellow. And the green, blue, yes, teal, or as I like to call it, community pool teal. The matte paints, always pretty sharp looking. Oh, look at that black. That looks sharp, doesn't it? Nice base colors to work with. Orange. Alright. Matte red. Looks pretty awesome. Yeah, the matte paints, I really like those. And here's metallic, which of course reflects lights quite a bit, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, these are normally like 38 gold, so just raking it in here, you know. It's metallic orange, that looks pretty cool too. So, alright, let's get all of them while they're free, why not? And the candy color is normally the most expensive one, 47 gold per paint, look at that. It's gold, apple, they don't call it red, tangerine, because orange is too plain, right? Copper, emerald, and violet. Alright, so pretty neat, but we'll go back to the original. I just want to get these. Okay, well, sure, let's get all of these vinyl packs as well as the, I mean, they're free, so why not, right? Stripes, racing, curves, sponsors, which shouldn't we be getting paid to put sponsor vinyls on? Come on, what kind of sponsorship is this? Real racing kind of sponsorship, that's what it is. So somewhere along the line, if I find time or if I get bored, or if I find that just I need to stand out from the grid, I may do some vinyl work on this one. But for now, let's see, service time for this car is going to be 3 hours, so just like the last one. Seems like they're kind of putting it around 3 hour nowadays. And then we've got, let's see, 12-hour wait time for the first roundup cash upgrades, looks like. But that's a pretty decent jump in performance, I would say. And of course, they kind of, you know, become less dramatic as an improvement as you go on to the upper tier upgrades. But yeah, body giving you actually a pretty good boost there. And they're all going to be around 100,000 plus racing dollar upgrades here. So full 7 categories. So there you have it. So I know many players start with by loading up the first roundup upgrades, but that wouldn't be really a 0 upgrade run, is it now? So anyway, we got a 2-lap cup race at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix circuit. So this is just a practice lap, so just get a feel for the way the car handles. So there's nobody else in here, and it looks like almost like a time trial, doesn't it? Except there's no like disqualifying for going off track or anything like that. So alright, here we go. So braking points for this car, how's at the 100-meter mark? Oh, that's too far away, isn't it? I'll probably go a little bit further down, at least for the lap 1 at a standing start. Alright, look at those tires, they're gigantic. See, this is what I mean. How you skid out if you go slow. It's so easy to skid out on these things when you don't have built up speed for downforce. Alright, while we're at it, let's check out cockpit view. Oh, look at that, that is sweet. Oh, you're sitting right next to those wheels in the front. Alright, so I have to make this turn without losing too much speed, or maybe my line wasn't very good. Let's work on that a little bit more. And I don't know if you guys watched the most recent, one of the more recent episodes of Real Racing TV. They have talked about the way this turbocharged V6 engine sound, how they have really paid close attention to replicating that sound in the video, in the game. And they did mention how they went back and revamped the Mazda 787B, the engine sound on that one as well. So go back, race the good old Mazda 787B and see if you notice any difference. Anyway, off track. Let's try that one. Now the question is, will this put this car in red? If it does, then well, I guess I'll have to get it serviced. But considering it's the first round, stage, hopefully it's not too bad, even with the car in red. There you go. Let's see how we handle this corner. Just a little tap on the brake, not okay, this car not quite MP4X. That's okay. Perhaps this is probably a little bit more realistic. So a little past the 50-meter mark. Let's get out into the... grip isn't quite like... I don't know, we'll see. This one doesn't quite have as high of a grip as some other F1s that we've experienced in the game. Alright, here we go. The real lap this time. Lap 2. I guess maybe my first braking point was better from the first lap. So here, let's try that one more time. It's a practice lap. And I really mean practicing. So we'll run through and try to clean up our braking point, at least here at Red Bull Ring for this car. Cut too far into the inside of the track. Oh well. So get your angle and full throttle. There's no slowly going around the curve in these type of cars. You set your angle and just fire away. Almost made it through full throttle there. Oh, see, I was adjusting the speed there by slowing down. That's not a very good idea. So when you're adjusting the direction, make sure you do it in a way that is, the speed is either fast enough that it'll handle, or oh wow. All right. Or yeah, you do it slow enough that it's not gonna skid. So there's no like middle ground for these guys. Alright, so that's this car, definitely different kind of F1 that we've got here. And that's alright. Different is good. Whoops, that took out probably more than how much I should have used up for just the very first goal here, since we got 2 more to tackle. So alright, we'll continue in goal 2.